I'd love to kick it off just with the theme of the season, which is fresh tarts and reinvention. But Victoria, we see Love still grieving and also juggling being a new mom and a business owner and dealing with her crazy family stuff on the side. How did all of these factors kind of affect her murderous streak?
I think they definitely compound. I think when we remember those things, I don't think it justifies any of her behavior, but it definitely, I think, offers us more of a perspective, just a broader perspective on what she's going through and what is like promoting these impulses. So yeah, it's very challenging and it's very difficult, and the pressure happens and she does break for sure under all of it.
Victoria, would you say that Love and Joe are soulmates? Because your character says that quite a bit too.
Yeah, I think if they had the courage and wherewithal to be vulnerable and open themselves up to each other, to maybe take some time apart, to really work on themselves and their own trauma and loving themselves, that yeah, they'd have a lot more to offer each other and a real relationship to build. But unfortunately, we don't see that happen. But I do see them as soulmates. I think that they're uniquely capable of fulfilling each other's weaknesses, and their strengths are really there to support and uphold each other.
Penn, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I do. I mean, I think that they're certainly compatible enough to make it work if they had those tools and if they understood what that even meant. More than compatible, they are in a way like I think that's the point. Again, like that's the study in relationships that the show works as, is like they are actually perfect for each other, but as long as they misunderstand the sort of nature and purpose of a relationship, which is not just about personal fulfillment and stuff like that, then they're not going to go anywhere, and that's a struggle we all encounter.
And they're reflections of each other too, so they both stray because they don't want to face themselves.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Are Joe and Love true soulmates? Because they talk about that a lot, and there's season 2, that twist that she's also a killer. How many people in the world would have the exact same motivations as one another? So would you say that they are?
I would say that they're well matched in a lot of exciting and also uncomfortable ways.
Okay.
I think that the idea of a soulmate is actually part of the problem in our culture. I think the idea that there is a perfect person for you has led a lot of people into a lot of unhappiness. I don't think it's a realistic template for a living, breathing relationship with people who grow and change and get the flu and lose their job and have babies and it's so romanticized. Joe thought she was his soulmate until he realized who she was. And then in season 3, we see him go back and forth a lot. But if I were writing a show about people who had totally different motivations, they would be like, I want to find somebody I can do this beautiful work of love with, right? Not like I need a soulmate who will make everything perfect. But that's a different show.
There's one line too, kind of towards the end of the season, where Joe kind of reflects and categorizes his past loves that we've seen thus far on the show, and he calls Beck a child. Would you say that Joe has matured over the course of the 3 seasons, or is he just more woke now?
I like that you're holding those against each other, like maturity versus wokeness. But in certain ways, I think he has. I mean, he's been through a lot. He has felt a lot of heartbreak, and he's been in a lot of scary situations, but in certain ways that are crucial so we can keep telling the story, right? He's not able to fully see himself. I don't think that a character who's built this way, a person who has this sort of, psyche and life, is necessarily capable of it. But if he had that lightning bolt of enlightenment about who he is, he would realize, oh, I'm looking for something outside myself that I can't get from another person. And then he'd never stalk anyone again. And then we would just be doing a show about a guy who, I keep saying, opens a dog rescue. And it's just Penn, Badgley, and dogs.
I would love that spinoff. Visually, that's a great visual right there. And then just books in the background.
Books and dogs.